That's the purpose of policing in America. It always has been, and it still is today. That's the purpose. It was never meant, you see the paper?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was never meant, that's why years ago, rally against constitutional dictatorship. Remember these stuff? This is back in the 90s, 99. Constitutional, it's never fooled us at all. This is a rally against constitutional dictatorship. When we was down at the AMC, and Marty Bray was read all back in the thing, and Kit Gay, one of the big constitutional white lawyers, was sitting there, said, and I mentioned that, I said, America is a constitutional dictatorship. Oh, what? I said, we're going to have a rally, but would y'all like to come? Shoot, the constitutional lawyers, so one day they get up and run out of there. Kit Gage was one of them. A constitutional dictatorship, in other words, they're supposed to be revolutionaries, and this is an affront to, what? America, a constitutional dictatorship? Well, that's the things, as we go along, you see that we're not anti-Jewish, we're anti-Zionist. Organizational theory, design, and change. That organizational theory, design, and change means that the people have studied organizational or state design and change. Basically, you can design a state to fit the function you want it to, like an organization, right? You design that organization to fit the purpose you want it to fit. That means we can design a constitution and we can design a system that could fit right into where we want to be 20 years from now. We can design it now. They can design it. Everybody knows what to do. They just won't do it. Right? We would have to balance off wealth and all that other stuff. Right? We would have to, no. They could have a 95% tax thing. They used to have a 94 tax thing, right? During that period, that's when America was a middle class, sharing the wealth. They got to do the same thing now, just temporary. 95% tax bracket. They can fix it so they can get most of their money back, so technically it would be a 50% tax bracket. But they got to balance the wealth. I was listening to a white man yesterday. He was saying everything right about America and what it is, but then he finished up by saying, now if you follow my program, I'm gonna make 800 millionaires within a certain, I said, with all that stuff he was saying about wealth and equality and all that, he was right. And he come back with the same stuff, with not being aware of the environment we live in. The last thing we need is more millionaires, more imbalance. He said that 0.1% had more money than, the same story they say.
Right.
Than 90% of the people. So why would motiversity? They're not talking about New Worlders. You need discipline to lift more weights, to get stronger, to run faster, and face the challenge. None of them ever faced a challenge. Like, what about Boss Man? What about New World? You want to face the challenge? Jump out there on Boss Man. You don't hear nothing about that. Your discipline is to make you just stronger, faster, and they talk all that stuff, but how they fail. That's because he ain't never fought the white man. See, it's different facing another group or another team or another, or just out there, I'm gonna get important and big. That's one thing. But if your name is on the white man's list at the top, that means the whole system is against you. You cannot even breathe. First of all, ain't but one or two people are gonna even get that far. There's so many traps along the way, you're gonna be fortunate to get to where you can jump on the white man. Yeah, you can jump on. That just don't exist. The guy is paying attention to everything. Remember yesterday when we was over there, I said, would you get me the chair so I could sit down?
Right, yeah.
You notice I never used that chair.
You did not use it, yep.
You know why? Because by the time I got in there, the white man had flipped the switch. Right? And I couldn't hardly at first walking in, but the white man wanted me to do that and didn't want me hurt. Like I walk in here one day, can't hardly walk. I mean, sometimes you wouldn't believe it. I'm not faking. I'm telling you. If I'm walking on a stick or can't hardly walk, that's the way I feel. I mean, I can't, if I move too fast, you know, one of them serious pains that go through your body, that's what happens. And if I sit down there to pray, it's because I ain't nowhere in the world I'm even think about moving. And I flow in here the next day, Lord, right?
Yes.
That's boss man. Boss man letting you know, nigga, look, we run you. We run your body. We control the Bible. We control the flow. We control. You got to be a tough character to say, well, you can kiss my behind. If you want me to hurt, then turn the hurt button, because it don't make me no difference, right? Yeah. Or if you turn the hurt button too long for a week or two, I'm going to figure out how to deal with that. And that's going to make me stronger. So the boss man can't leave it on no more than a day or two, because I'll adapt to it. I'll find a way, because that's what I'm doing right then. Remember I told y'all in the hills of Oakland, I was hurting so bad that I said, I'm coming back tomorrow. And so the same thing. If you keep doing it, you're going to see, believe it or not, my personal development, I'm not going to talk about personal development much anymore. I'm going to talk about collective development, because we're in the new strategic management related to Brother Tufel and related to this center right here. So I want everybody to visualize this area right around where we are. There is the nerve center of the new strategic management structure that we're building. We're not gonna build it, we're already doing it. Everything we're talking about, we're already doing it, because we're in that stage. When you get in that stage, you're in that stage. Okay, now, so we understand what we're up against. We're not up against boss man, we're up against the Zionist.
That's right.
Okay, now, this is our proposal. We have said, now you got to remember, the Zionist is going to cripple. He's already doing it. The white man in America. He's already crippled him. He's already, look what he's doing. Look at the chaos in America. It's chaos.
They got him hooked on opiates.
Huh?
They got him hooked on opioids.
Killing themselves.
We've been telling them, look, we have not been incorrect about nothing. The white man with the guns, the white people all up in the hills with teeth falling out. Hey man, see, the Zionists don't care nothing about nobody. You know, the Zionists kill other Jews all over the world. So they would run to Israel.
Yeah, that's real talk.
Burn synagogues and everything to make the Jews run out of Iraq and go run to, this is what they said, in Yemen. And the racism amongst the Jews from Ethiopia, they won't even take their blood.
I remember I heard
Jews from Yemen and their Arabicness, 10th class citizens. Jews from Arab countries. They're technically Arabs. And now they having movements in the state of Israel, just like we had an African American movement. We not colored anymore. We not. They having their own type of movement in Israel. So we ain't taking this no more. You know. And the songs, you can go through their music. They starting to sing Arabic. They bring it back. You know what I mean? Just like 30 years ago, 40 years ago, we had a black renaissance in America. They having an Arab Israeli renaissance. And they have a renaissance wherever they're from. The Ethiopians, all the people, because they shoot them down, they beat them to death. Amen. They got us thinking that everything's lovey-dovey. And if you want to see somebody oppressed, this is him right here. Amen.
Because they're trying to make them
join the army. So we're not joining that army.
Right, yeah, I remember, I heard about that some time ago too.
We're not doing it. It's illegal, it's wrong. It's not the Torah. We're not fighting like that.
That's right.
Real.
We're not doing that.
That's right.
So they got their own troubles. But if an enemy can keep you having more trouble than he has, he's going to do better because he's got things. That's what the white man is about here in America. Here's our proposal. We always talk about the FBI and people like that. Well, see, there's things like coalitions. That this guy is small and organized, and he knows everybody's business. Therefore, you got to start with a crew that have a high level of commitment. Now, there is in the FBI and other agencies people with certain levels of commitment. We're reaching out today to our old-time recognized future to be enemy of my enemy is my friend type of thing. It's the FBI. We want the dear FBI take all our case, consolidate it, put it together, and run it through the court system, and then give us our $100 million. Of course, it's negotiable. Like I told them before, it's negotiable.
Right.
Yeah, we
They did say
negotiate.
that.
We just say 100 million. They say no, that's too much.
Is that negotiable? Yeah, you told us.
But it has to be up there. It has to be big. Okay, that's good for them and it's good for us. Why is it good for them? It's because they have lost control of their country. They have. Does the FBI control anything? Don told them go to hell. Oh, yeah. The CIA, this is what we do. They can't tell Don nothing because Don will tell the whole world. They said this, they said that. And Mr. Putin, no, I believe him. This is just them now. We know it's all a game. But they said, well, what do you say, Mr. President? Sir, I believe Putin. Putin said such hell, I believe him. Why not? I don't see nothing wrong with it. Right? And he's getting a briefing every day. I'm not telling you about what we think about it, I'm telling you what America thinks about it. I'm telling you about what them crackers and the Homeland Security and all them think. And every one of them, he fires any one of them when he get ready. And he strolls a big old tall one, call me or whatever, grown me, right? And humiliates them, yes, Mr. President. And they get the hell out of here, right? So that goes down to the day-to-day FBI person. We say you have lost control of your country. Now you're Americans. All that tough talk now. Let me explain to you something about America. First of all, let's just wipe off all that city on the hill, S-H-I-T. Well, I don't need none. You've never been that. You ain't never even wanted. You never even, I guess you don't know nothing about Sand Creek and all them other things where you slaughtered it. Forget about all of that. And niggas and Mexicans, and you have not lived up to one smidget. I'm talking about the first thing that police say is that the Jim Crow, doggone that we organized slave patrols and Jim Crow. Hell, I don't care nothing about no bank robbers and all of that. Just keep niggas in their place. Look down there, control and management. Right? So, law enforcement, 21st century. I have 8 or 10 of these books. I have all these management books. I got all that. I just read them all the time. That's all I read. So I have a feeling about law enforcement because that's all I study. I got these. This just happened to be one I just copied this out of. In justification, sure. Look on the other page. You see 9/11, right? The building blowing up.
Right, yeah.
Justification. So let's ask a question. What is justification? That means if we want to kill black people, but we want to do more than one thing, we just don't want to just stop the movement. We want to make sure that their children, like number 5 in COINTELPRO, that they don't develop into anything, that they don't join any black group. And we want to destroy the family. We want to close the neighborhood down. In the old days, a black neighborhood was a sanctuary. Why 10 years later, 40 years ago, sanctuary is gone? Because they put drugs in the black community. And drugs is the same thing you have here. Justification, illegal searches and seizures, high crime neighborhood. It's justification to recolonize, to control, and to manipulate. You go back farther, you go back in history, you don't find SWAT teams, you don't find any of that military stuff hardly until you get to our period when we wanted to change things. Before that, you can't find no SWAT team in 1960. They didn't have any. Why? Because we were peacefully on the reservation, just cruising along. No need. You could actually physically fight the police, in those days. Try it now and see what happens. You'll be as dead as a doornail. Yes, you will. Okay. So we're not going to talk about the bad things too much. Let's say we find ourselves in a situation where the circumstances lead to certain conclusions. Like if you want to judge hadith and what have you, there's a system. Time, place, and circumstance. What does that hadith mean? It has a regular meaning, but let's work with time, place, and circumstance. History is like that. We live in a certain time, we live in a certain place, and as circumstances are going on, what do we need to do? We need to eliminate monster that's causing all of us all that trouble. The irredeemable Zionist that worked directly for the shaitan. He uses all of his techniques. At one time, you could have said this is America's, but right now, America is a victim. We have to look at what it is. The white American, we've been saying this for years, the white America is a victim of hell, is a victim. And after all of them, all teeth falling out, then they say, well, now we'll think about doing something to the company. But the company has $1 trillion already. $75 trillion they done made off to people. Well, we want you to pay back $1 billion. Right? It's a sure, right? It's ridiculous. Okay, time, place, and circumstance demand that you first have to get rid of the big monster. Who's the big monster during this time? It's the Zionist. The Zionist is against New Worldism, good worldism. It's against all of that. The Zionist is 100% against that. So, the other oppressed people, when I say other oppressed people, that means the rest of the world falls in the category of oppressed when it comes to Mossad. They're small, but they're controlling the whole show. Okay, because they control all the people. Why? Because everybody is human. No guy that's like girlfriends, he just don't like his wife anymore. It happens to everybody. Not everybody, but a lot of people. The Zionists not going to let him get away with that. They're going to hang him up. We're going to tell everybody, oh, we're going to hang you. And just do a little bit for us. Like one Palestinian, he said, they get you first. Just do this little thing. Then after you do, just do a little bit. Then after you've done that, now, if you don't cooperate with us, we're going to tell all the Palestinians that you're a snitch. And here it is. We got your voice, we got your finger, we got everything. That you cooperated with us. But I just did a little, I just did, it's too bad. They're not going to think that. They're going to think more, right? That's one of the techniques for developing collaborators. You know, developing collaborators. Okay, so the world that we have today is a world where, as an example, we talk about the evolution of movement, the speed and development, and if you move in a certain, well, things are moving very fast now.